Most football fans are looking in the wrong direction. When people talk about FIFA World Cup 2026, they talk about Argentina, the defending champions. They talk about France, a squad packed with world-class talent. They talk about Brazil, the most successful nation in football history. And sometimes England, a team that somehow convinces itself that this year will be different. But while the football world is focused on the usual suspects, another nation has been quietly building something dangerous. Very dangerous. A team with a clear identity. A team with fearless young stars. A team that seems to be arriving at exactly the right moment. And if history has taught us anything, that's often the formula for a World Cup champion. Because World Cups are rarely won by the team with the biggest reputation. They're won by the team peaking at exactly the right time. And right now, Spain may be doing exactly that. Today, we're breaking down the 5 reasons Spain could shock the world and win FIFA World Cup 2026. And trust me, the final reason might be the most important of all. One of the biggest problems in international football is identity. National teams don't spend every day together. Managers have limited time. Players arrive from different clubs, different systems, different styles. And somehow they're expected to become a perfect team within a few weeks. That's why so many talented nations fail. They're still trying to figure themselves out when the tournament begins. Spain doesn't have that problem. For more than a decade, Spain has followed a clear football philosophy. Control the ball, control the game, control the tempo. Some people call it possession football. Others call it positional play. Whatever you call it, Spain understands it better than almost anyone. Every player entering the national team already knows what's expected. The system doesn't change. The identity doesn't change. The mission doesn't change. And that's a massive advantage in tournament football. Because when pressure arrives, uncertainty destroys teams. Spain already knows exactly who they are. Football history follows a pattern. Teams don't stay on top forever. Generations rise, generations fall, and then a new generation takes over. The greatest World Cup winners all had one thing in common: timing. Germany in 2014. France in 2018, Argentina in 2022. Each nation reached the tournament with players entering their peak years. Not too young, not too old, perfectly balanced. Now look at Spain. A new generation has emerged, a generation that grew up watching Spain's greatest teams. A generation hungry to create its own legacy. By 2026, many of these players will be entering the most productive years of their careers. Old enough to handle pressure, young enough to dominate physically. That's a dangerous combination, because talent gets attention. Prime years win trophies. Momentum. Momentum is difficult to measure. You won't find it on a statistics sheet. You can't calculate it. But every football fan knows it exists. Sometimes a team simply feels different. Everything starts clicking. Confidence grows, results improve, belief spreads. And suddenly a nation begins to dream. Spain appears to be entering that phase. The players believe, the supporters believe, the football looks increasingly convincing. And momentum has a strange effect on tournaments. It turns good teams into dangerous teams, and dangerous teams into champions. Now let's look at the competition. Argentina faces the impossible challenge of defending a World Cup, something very few teams have ever accomplished. France carries enormous expectations. Anything less than reaching the final will be viewed as failure. Brazil continues searching for answers after years of disappointment. England still struggles to escape decades of pressure. Germany remains in transition. Portugal may be approaching the end of an era. No contender is perfect. Every favorite has weaknesses. But Spain's weaknesses appear smaller than most, and that matters. Because World Cups are not won by perfect teams. They're won by teams with fewer problems than everyone else. This might be the most important reason of all. Because we've seen this story before. Before Spain won the World Cup in 2010, they weren't considered unbeatable. People respected them. People feared them, but they weren't the obvious favorite. Most conversations focused elsewhere. Sound familiar? Today, football fans are obsessed with Argentina, France, Brazil, England. Meanwhile, Spain continues improving quietly. Without the same spotlight. Without the same pressure. Without the same expectations. And that's exactly how dangerous teams are born. History doesn't repeat itself perfectly. But it often rhymes. And the similarities are becoming impossible to ignore. Will Spain win FIFA World Cup 2026? Nobody knows. Football has a way of making fools of predictions. That's why we love it. But if you're looking for the team with the right identity, the right age profile, the right momentum, and the right timing, Spain deserves to be near the very top of the list. Not because they're the loudest contender. Not because they have the biggest stars, but because they might be arriving at the perfect moment. And sometimes, that's all a future champion needs. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the 26th Minute for more football documentaries, World Cup predictions, and deep dives into the stories shaping the road to 2026.